Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. And it's nice to be in Belgrade, better than in a room which is called procedural marriage, which I think about him like my spiritual father. My presentation will become like geoarchaeological sampling and the laboratory procedure work in Balkan setting. Maybe not Balkan setting, but because some people are now not thinking they're Balkan, but just they understand what I mean. I will be talk about something, and I will be talk about my lab, and because all the rest about sediment and soil, Charlie is the best person to give you answer. And first I want to explain you why I went in geoarchaeology, because always I was interested in paleolithic North Bosnia, and we find it all these stones and everything on top, but we never find any organic stuff, and we never find it explanation what is going on. What happened with the medieval, Roman, Bronze Age and everything, because on straight away we find something what is middle paleolithic. And the proper explanation I can't find, and this is why I always do some kind of research, and finally I went and I tried to find this in geoarchaeology. In this case, we are talking about what we need to find it to explain how it's a soil built, and to find it like original soil and occupation structure. Everything becomes with a morphological sampling from site. In this case, this is a site from Zetsovi. Very simple. When you open site, always you need to count it and not count it too much on the first 20, 30 centimeters because it is usually plugging zone, and all this material is just there. What I recommend always archaeologists plug over, collect it, and go after 20, 30 centimeters and focus on this what you get. What you need is like everything needs to be properly recorded. Drawing the section, taking pictures, properly marking with GPS, and what is very important thing is to find it DEFRA license. It means for chemists, for us it's very important to import and export soils with a license. If you don't have this, you're not able to cross border. It means that kind of stuff. I want to teach you how can you work with the field, First, borehole survey is simple. What is Charlie did in creation, and it's a basic one, and you're able to do reconstruction like all this profile what is in the soil, and you're able, because this is Olga, like a Danish borehole. And you have like a 10 centimeter by 4 or 5, and inside you get exactly intact soil, and which you're able to reconstruct all vertical profile if you put it close to each other. And we develop now from taking the example, be able to make it micromorphological slides, and help you to interpret it, how it's working structure. It means it's small damage, only 4 centimeter, 5 centimeter thick. You're able to damage nearly to 2 to 5 meters deep. We manage this on the side. And like if you have it this again like story about excavation. Sometimes when you get to site, when you know where is site, I will suggest everybody just go east, west, north to south, and when you get it like find it concentration, there is archaeology. And after this, be doing like 20 meter, 10 meter, 5 meter, 1 meter. And if you find it concentration, there is archaeology. Do testing. And from that testing, take it to like a section and make it microphotoculture, like take a sample, handful, like soil, and that soil will be used for doing the pH meter, acidity, magnetoscopy, like many different analyses from the output. From these slides, you're able to interpret all these profiles. And when you find it, there is a center of archaeological site. If you want to do excavation, do. If you have money, if you have time, do. But you don't need to do. But that kind of site with all these GPS coordinates need to be protected and put it to heritage to protect it forever. It means next time, if it's some kind of building or something, they know where is this place, and they will be moved, they will be avoided, or they will be paid for excavation. It's not always excavation need to be archaeology need to be expensive. No, on something you need to avoid excavation. Here we have two different cases. This is one happened in Sarajevo, where they are on the site Butmir, 300-hectare site, and they, because it was protected for a previous government and everything, and after this boreholing, they discovered site is so smaller, and helping like local planning company or government to extend the planning option, not to disturb archaeology, and archaeology able to have profit, like if they're able to do excavation. This is a Zetsuri, what is Charlie or Chad, and it's been like from this stuff what we get it, we able to explain how it's a valley falling, and be able to find it like pollen, seeds, and everything, and explain which kind of erosion happened on the hill wash, and to explain all of like a landscape what is going there. Because on that beautiful hill, we find it like a 100-meter far. It's like a graveyard from 6th century BC, and it's on 2.40 meters. It's really like a lot of this stuff that is washed from here. It just covered and made it deeper, and that erosion was we able to identify. We able to identify the process what is to produce that erosion and explain what is going on the archaeological side. About soil and sediment, this is two different properties. Why I put this slide? Because I'm coming from preventive archaeology, long time working on this, and in all our publications, like in the past years, we talking about soil like dark brown, light brown, and not properly explain what is exactly which kind of soil we are talking. You know, and this is not information. Like just coloring is not information. And if you're using coloring, using Mansell chart. And like one of this like a chart yeah, is explained, and I suggest like everybody who is working on the site can develop like some letters, and find it professionals can find the interpretation behind this letter, and can the people on the site using just letters. Don't try to explain it. Soil on the, especially when we're doing large site in Cambridge Archaeology Unit, and if it's everybody start interpreting it by their eye, what they are showing in soil, this is going to get complex for somebody who needs to write a book. This is like a structure of soil or property of soil, and the same, like just need archaeologists need to improve their knowledge about structure and interpretation of soil. Again, like on that, I don't so going to. Now I'm back in my field. It's been making like this is I call my art studio, and usually my students call it's my coffin, because it's underground basement in Cambridge University, and I usually spend my main time there. First again, like that Charlie slide who is collecting stuff from the site. Site is piece of soil is coming, and that block's coming and going first in DEFRA room with all these documents. DEFRA room is some kind of a room without any ventilation. It means if it's any kind of bacteria, any kind of disease, virus, they need to stay there, and before they go in the lab, they need to pass some kind of like a microwave, ultraviolet to kill everything live inside. And after this is going on the shelves to dry. In this room, we have like some kind of dehumidity system, and the climate inside is like Mediterranean, 30% humidity. This is in England impossible, but in that room it's possible. When it's like ready, dry after 2 weeks or something, everything needs to document extra drying in the oven, because the oven resin and mixture is not working with the water, or will be very bad impregnation, and you need to record everything. You need to have evidence about everything what you're doing in the lab. This is some kind of impregnation. It's cast with resin, acetone, and metal getting propan harder, and we mix this. Is going in the vacuum chamber. This is like a 30 PC, which is soaking air, and that air is replacing with the mixture. And after this, stay in the curing cupboard for minimum like 4 weeks, and next one is ready for cutting. Cutting is everything with it's everything looking simple, but just consuming time, and it's a huge process. And this property here, like we cutting in the slide, which is potentially proper geomicrobiological slide, and this part, left part, it's a stay forever, like record. Like organs, you able use this now. This is some kind of like put it in the proper like preserve, and you're able to do all this analyze in 100 years or 50,000. How much it plastic need to be destroyed? It feels like one hand, like old geoarchaeology information, able to stay longer. I always said it's better than C14 data, because the C14 data, when you take sample, you destroy it. But our sample is stay forever. And you're able to, in 50 years, if somebody thinking like and complain about site, you just somebody, you ancestor will be showing that slide and say, we had this at the time. And can you check it under microscope and you will prove this. Next stage of this, long sitting, focusing, and try to make slides. It means like you need to achieve 25 to 30 millimicrons, and which will be help you to explain all minerals, all grains, and all interpretation how sediment is built and how site is built. Last stage, this is a Drenovat slide. It's using microscopes and researcher, and we made the interpretation which is need to be fitted in archaeological interpretation. And this is some like over piece of stuff is not just piece of art. It's just a huge record about landscape and helping to interpret the archaeological stuff. And like you recognize, it's not too much expensive. Just need a huge knowledge. For my first slide, I needed like 6 months to work in the lab. Because you need to understand all this property, all this procedure, and need to be done in the right time. It's when like when I'm working with my students, I have rules: 7 days, 2 weeks, 1 month, or never. And the student like training. If he is not showing in 7 days, I try 1 more weeks, 1 month, and after this I'm coming to Charlie's office and say, Charlie, he's not able to do slide. We need to find it money and somebody will work for him. And it's a minute like he will later do only interpretation of these slides. And again, like we will be now, that is a record for forever. Thank you for your attention, and call an applause.